Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Monday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. In the news tonight, PDM President Mchenry Venani this afternoon paid a courtesy visit to Windhoek Mayor Joseph Wapingene to discuss, among other things, the lack of housing in Namibia despite the staggering demand. Elizabeth Davis reports.
Thank you very much. The issues that were raised were very pertinent issues that confront the city. We must get a functioning city. But the city is having a number of problems. We are not delivering the promise of housing. We are not delivering the promise of land because of a number of complex issues of either subsidization that is lacking. Now, every year, after every 5 years, we promise people we will deliver housing, but we are not delivering housing. So the question of shanty towns is a critical issue that I brought to the city. What is it and what steps are being made to mitigate the challenge of land delivery in our city? That's a key issue that I brought. Secondly, it's a question of a lack of technological advancement when it comes to pensioners. We are sitting with pensioners that are being inundated with a number of debts, but the city, 33 years after independence, has not developed a fully functional system of electricity meters and water meters for pensioners and people in the city. But why am I paying a bill for estimation? Why am I not paying the real actual? And a lot of people are losing a lot of resources, and pensioners' homes are being taken away because people are being charged on estimation. Even if you go on holiday, your bill remains the same. So we must end this estimation thing and technologically charge people for what they consumption, and you are paying that consumption. So it's in a city that I brought. It's an issue that I also brought to the city. The matter of functionality between the local government, parliament, and the central government. We need to have a dialogue, even dialoguing with the president. Where are we standing with the question of city subsidization? Without subsidizing the city, such as Windhoek, for land delivery, there will be no homes. And you know the conundrum is the following. For 33 years, you are living in a shed. You can afford to buy bricks. You can afford to build a house, but the land in which you are is not yours. The dichotomy is that the city that owns the land doesn't make money from the land because there are no services. For them to make services, we need to unblock the thinking. What is it that we can do at a minimum cost to make sure that we start giving land at a minimum cost for services so that people can start using services? Because the city can only make money through services generation. And by services generation, people need to build their houses. So for 33 years, you're sitting on a land, you can't build, the city can't make money. So it's a quote pro quo situation that is killing everybody, and the city doesn't make money. So government must come to the party and say, how can we unbutton and bring the issue of land delivery to the people?
Namibia has made history today with the high iron Oshivela project that will be the first zero-emission, free from iron production project. Gemma Mabiekas was there.
Preventing climate change and pushing for energy transition ranks very high on Germany's agenda. In June 2020, as one of the first countries to do so, Germany published a national hydrogen strategy. And since Russia's aggression against Ukraine, we multiplied our efforts, our German efforts, our European efforts to switch to renewable energy and to promote ways to decarbonize our whole industry. This focus is reflected in our cooperation with Namibia. Our activities encompass many projects in the area of renewable energy, energy access, energy storage, energy policy, and green hydrogen. There are several technical cooperation programs supported by the German Ministry of Economics and Climate Action and the Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, focusing on almost every important aspect of green hydrogen and renewable energy. With support to the Green Hydrogen Council, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, NamPower, Namibian Training Authority, and many others. Since March 2020, when His Excellency President Geingob launched the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2 with the Southern Corridor Development Initiative, the issue of green hydrogen came up very prominently here in Namibia, gaining more and more momentum since then. Germany's support for green hydrogen followed very timely. In August 2021, Minister Karliczek of the Federal Ministry for Education and Research and Honorable Director General Obed Kanjose, NPC, signed a joint communique of intent. And as was alluded to in December 2022, the Minister for Economic Affairs and Climate Action and Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck visited Namibia with, as President Geingob said, apparently the biggest business delegation ever. Minister Habeck made the nature of our partnership very clear. Yes, Germany is interested in importing from Namibia ammonium and iron ore. But Namibia comes first. Namibia needs to profit from green hydrogen projects. It profit from the high iron project in terms of social development, in terms of economic development, in terms of electrification, electricity supply, creating employment, income, and lowering the inequality in society. In the meantime, there are many forms of cooperation, of consortia and joint ventures between Namibian and German or other European companies in the area of renewable energy, green hydrogen, and related industry. It is, in my view, important to underline the Haien Oshivera project is not just one of them, it is an outstanding, a unique, and a promising project in many aspects. This is why Minister Habeck, during his visit in December, handed over a grant of, as was alluded to, 13.7 million euros.
The 7th edition of the Africa Sanitation Africa San 7 conference started in Swakopmund today. The Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, in collaboration with the African Ministers' Council on Water, will host a one-week-long Africa San 7 conference under the theme Strengthening Systems and Partnership for Acceleration Action on Safely Managed Sanitation and Hygiene. Let's take a look.
On behalf of the people and the government of the Republic of Namibia, I am indeed honored to welcome you to the 7th edition of the Africa Sanitation and Hygiene Conference, Africa San 7, in this beautiful town of Swakopmund, Namibia. When the Lord created Swakopmund, he was very excited. He gave us beautiful landscapes, the ocean, fog. But in his excitement, he forgot something. He didn't give us water. You are sitting in one of the driest places in Namibia. And I believe it was we, humans with our brains, that connected the Lord's plan for Swakopmund. We gave it water, and we made it the beautiful place that it is now. So very welcome to this beautiful town and region. The Africa San Conference, as it is popularly known by now, is convened by the African Ministers' Council on Water, AMCA, and the Commission of the African Union once every 2 years. Indeed, it is now an Africa San movement for sanitation and hygiene, and I'm glad that this conference brings together all key stakeholders, including government officials, municipal leaders, heads of units, development partners, the academia, researchers, and the private sector and civil society. I'm so excited about it because only in an inclusive gathering like that can we give meaningful impact to a matter that concerns us all. That's safe sanitation and hygiene. The Republic of Namibia is honored to host this 7th edition of the conference, and it is convened under the theme Strengthening Systems and Partnerships for Accelerated Action on Safely Managed Sanitation and Hygiene.
The Namibia Professional Hunting Association is faced with the challenge of an aging membership and fewer young members that are joining its ranks. NAPA said there is a proposal to establish a Young Hunters Committee. It said that this initiative is not just about increasing membership numbers, but actively involving the younger generation in the association's activities and ensuring its continued relevance and sustainability. Engaging young hunters will also strengthen their sense of belonging and commitment to the association. NAPA said that looking at hunting trends in America provides some insight, as over the years there has been a decline in hunting participation, especially among young people. After the break, we'll get into our Story of the Day segment. To stay with us.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Allgemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Getting into our story of the day, Gateway School Principal Marianne Huish and Grade 1 teacher Cynthia Maton talks to us about the school as well as their plans for the future. Let's take a look.
I'm Marianne Huish, and I'm the principal of Gateway School, and this is Mrs. Cynthia Mouton, and she is our Grade 1 teacher. Gateway School was established in 2016, and we had quite a big vision. We only started with about 5 children of different ages, and we soon grew, and at the moment we are up till Grade 3, and we will be starting our Grade 4 class next year. We currently have 7 teachers, and we are about 43 children. And we have chess lessons on offer. We also do Kinderland Kinetics, where the kids do some movement exercises. And we have music and drama. We do a little bit of baking and making, some fun stuff. And yes, we're just a fun-loving school. We love God. We strive to serve Him. And we're all just one big happy family here. Well, currently, we start with our play group, which is the 2 to 3 year olds, and then we move all the way up till Grade 3 this year, and like I mentioned, Grade 4 next year, and but our vision is to move up till Grade 12.
Together with the PTA, which consists of about 3 mommies of the school and myself, we came together and came up with the idea to have a gala evening and to raise funds. Our sole purpose was to raise funds so that we can furnish the Grade 4 class and so that we can get it up and running next year. So as you know, we don't get any subsidy from the state. We are a private school, which means we have to raise funds to do everything. The income from the school fees, a big chunk of it goes to salaries, and that leaves almost nothing to do maintenance and even to start the Grade 4 class. So we will have to make use of fundraisers at least once a year to raise funds so that we can add the next class. And we are hoping that we can grow by adding 1 class every year.
In economic news, we look at the South African Reserve Bank that will do what is needed to preserve price stability. To stay with us.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with the entertainment.
Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Now, the South African Reserve Bank SARB Governor Lesetja Kganyago said the central bank won't hesitate to do what's needed to preserve price stability. Inflation in Namibia and South Africa stood at 5.4% in September, according to the Namibia Statistics Agency and Stats SA. Now, SARB held interest rates at 8.25% in September, while warning the outlook for inflation remains clouded by uncertainty. The South African Reserve Bank's last monetary policy announcement for the year is expected to take place on the 23rd of November. The last monetary policy announcement for the year by the Bank of Namibia is expected to take place on the 6th of December. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.60, against the euro at 19.62. 2 Namibian dollars and 52 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, copper and Brent crude oil went up, while gold and platinum went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.84%, going for $86.86 per barrel. In international news, after the break, we look at the Gaza conflict.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Getting into our international news, nearly 1 month into the Gaza conflict, analysts say there is little sign that efforts to secure an end to the fighting will succeed, and warn that the resulting humanitarian crisis could destabilize the wider Middle East. Let's take a look at this video on that.
No mistake. This is not just another episode of violence between Israelis and Palestinians. This is a paradigm-forming moment. It's a paradigm-forming moment for generations to come. Certainly in the Arab world, among Palestinians, among Israelis, among Muslim-majority countries, but I think beyond that, I think this is a paradigm-forming moment. And what I mean by that is, this is not like the ceasefire will come tomorrow and people will shift their views. The scale of horror that we have witnessed, both in Hamas's attack on Israel and obviously the Israeli bombings and operations in Gaza, have been so high, and the language has been so extreme that it is impossible that it is not impacting people's view of the conflict. And I think that particularly the view of the United States.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team.
It's hard to tell whether the Israeli posture is principally a negotiating posture to get the hostages released, or really they have made a decision essentially to go all the way in an attempt to destroy Hamas, and therefore, even if that means destroying Gaza, which obviously is what we see taking place. One of the things that the Biden administration does not seem to have taken into account is that, separate from helping Israel, as they did in the early days, that American interests are themselves at stake here, and that they are putting themselves on a slippery slope of escalation that no one can control, and certainly not the President of the United States. And we're getting close to that point.
Let's take a look at our weather predictions for tomorrow. Katima Mulilo can expect rainy showers with a minimum of 21 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius. Oshakati can expect a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius. Handys Bay can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius, while Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. We'll now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by Sports Rep.
Well, good day, viewers. On today's Sunset News, brought to you by Sports Rep, MTC during the launch today announced its support worth an amount of $2 million towards the Tafelaga Brave Warriors, while asking other corporates to pledge a minimum of $100,000 towards the cause. Well, this is in sponsorship of the MTC Knockout Project. So we are all very excited to see that MTC is giving back to the nation like they are now. Well, with that being said, speaking of football, Fortune Echab, the Khomas Nampol head coach, had this to say after Saturday's match as they won.
With us is Coach Fortune, Nampol's coach. Coach, congratulations, 4 goals, first half. You struggled to find the back of the net, but in the second half, 3 of them came through. Tell us, what was the game plan from the start?
We went back at halftime and we addressed the wrongs that we were doing, because we are too slow. We lost second balls every time. Then we decided Okanja is playing over slow defense. We play the ball back and use the keeper, because we have a keeper that can pass the ball. He assists 2 of them. So we regroup and we play through the keeper. That's how we get the goals. So we utilize our keeper to make the passes.
And looking at it, Macross, you brought him in later on. Why did you not start him in the beginning?
He's still new. He just trained a week. So there's still a lot to come. He must get used to the place. He will be a great asset. So he must get used to the guys. And the other guys have been doing good. So he needs to fight for his place. It's not an automatic choice that you will come and walk in.
And now, Coach, looking at it, your goal or your for the season, you set yourself a target of 24 points this season. You are now at 21. So far, how does it feel that you are just a couple of points away from your
We said
target?
this weekend it's a crucial game. Crucial weekends to get those 24 points. So we want to get it as soon as possible. So we will go back, we will work tomorrow for those 3 points, so that we reach the target, because it will be very difficult later on. So our aim is to get to the 24 points by end of this weekend.
And come tomorrow, the game plan, and I believe this is the second weekend that you are playing back-to-back. In the beginning, you were playing Friday, then you play Sunday, but now you are playing Saturday, Sunday. The recovery, how is it going to work for the boys?
We will do a recovery now. We will do basic recovery now. So the boys are ready. And tomorrow, luckily we are playing Blue Quest that is playing that side. So they will travel, there is fatigue in. So I know last time when we went to Rundu, it was very difficult for them. So we are ready.
Thank you very much.
Coach, my question basically is just about, it was quite windy in the first half. Would you say that maybe had an effect on the lack of goals in the first half?
Yeah, but the wind was with us. We could have utilized it better. But when you play long balls, it will not affect us. And Okanja was playing long balls. We disturbed our game plan. So off the wind against us, we playing better.
Thank you, Coach.
Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit is donderdagse sportstrip nu. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om French te praten. Is je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le jour.
Daar rit je me kool.
Is dit nou onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld. We zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool!
Let's take a look at the news highlights from today's broadcast. PDM President McHenry Venani this afternoon paid a courtesy visit to Windhoek Mayor Joseph Wabingene to discuss, among other things, the lack of housing in Namibia despite the staggering demand. He said that government should come to the party to intervene. The Namibia Professional Hunting Association is faced with the challenge of an aging membership and fewer young members that are joining its ranks. NAPA said there is a proposal to establish a Young Hunters Committee. It said that this initiative is not just about increasing membership numbers, but actively involving the younger generation. The South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesesha Kayango said the central bank won't hesitate to do what is needed to preserve price stability. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms, on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneupto.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenora Shipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.